Good morning, boys and girls. Today for reading, I want to talk to you about something called plot. We've talked about this before, but I've never shown you the plot hill. And I do have a song and a video for you to watch on one of the slides, so make sure you listen to that. It will help you understand what plot is. But I'm going to just show you this diagram, talk about the parts, and I'm going to read a story to you, and we'll talk about what each one of these is in the story so you can kind of relate it. So like I said, every story has a plot, and a plot, you can think of it as a hill. In the beginning of the hill, you learn who the characters are, and you might learn a little bit about their traits, of what they're like, and your setting, where the story takes place. As you're going up the hill, your characters will reach a problem. There is a problem in most stories. And as we reach the top of the hill, that problem gets worse and worse and worse until you reach the highest point of the hill. That's called the climax. The highest point is where the problem gets to be the worst. There might be a huge battle. It's the highest point, the most emotion of your story. And then after that, the problem starts to go away. There's a solution, or a resolution is another word for it. And then at the very end, there's our conclusion. So I'm going to read this with a story called Three Wishes, and then we will, as I'm reading it, and I'll have this on slides too so you can look at it as I'm reading it. And you can be thinking about each part, and we'll talk about it at the end. So once there lived a poor woodsman in a great forest. One day he went out to cut wood and chose a big old oak tree. He was about to start cutting it into planks when he heard a sad cry. A spirit who lived in the tree was begging him not to cut it down. The woodsman was amazed, but he told the spirit, "I will do as you ask." The spirit was very grateful and said to the woodsman, "To show my thanks, I will give you any 3 wishes that you desire." The spirit disappeared, and the woodsman started for home. He wasn't sure if the whole thing had been a dream. When the woodsman arrived home, he was hungry and tired. No supper was ready, so he said, without thinking, "Oh, I wish I had some black pudding in front of me now." No sooner had he spoken than a huge bowl of black pudding was before him. He and his wife were both amazed, and then he remembered what had happened in the forest. His wife was very mad when she heard the story. "You are a fool," she said. "I wish the pudding was stuck to your nose." And of course, right then it was. They pulled and pulled, but could not get it off. "What should I do now?" the woodsman said. "It really doesn't look that bad," answered his wife. So the woodsman made up his own mind and wished the pudding off his nose. His wife wasn't too happy, and she never got rich, but at least she had a good supper. So I'm going to fill out the diagram for you on Google Slides, but I'm just going to talk about it right now. So in the beginning, we learn who the character is. It's the woodcutter, and or the woodsman, and he is poor. He's a poor woodsman, and the setting is in a great forest. And as we're going along, he's cutting this tree down. He's about to cut down this tree, and a spirit appears and grants him 3 wishes to not cut the tree down. And the problem starts to be when he doesn't know what to wish for. And his first wish is to wish for the black pudding. And I'd say that's probably the start of his problem. And the highest point of the problem is when his wife gets very mad at him because he has wasted a wish, and she says he's a fool. And the pudding, she says, "I wish the pudding was stuck to your nose." And she's very angry. This is the most emotion of the story. That would be your climax for this story. The pudding is now on his nose. His wife is angry. And from there, things start to get a little bit better because he decides on his own that he is going to make the last wish. He's going to take his last wish and wish that black pudding away. So that's our solution. And our conclusion then is his wife isn't rich. They never got rich. She's not very happy, but at least they have a good supper. So today you are going to take a look at my diagram on Google Slides. It looks similar to this, but you're going to need to fill parts out for a different story. I will have this one filled out for the story, The Three Wishes. You are going to fill it out for a different story that's kind of similar to this one, actually, and it's called The Sausage. And I will have this one posted on Google Slides as well, and you will fill out this diagram using text boxes under assignments or under classwork. All right, good luck, boys and girls.